This conference will now be recorded.
Can you see my screen, Apurva?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Okay. So yesterday we started that CSS3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday, you know, right? That is how to use the custom fonts. Okay, and using the font case selectors, applying the font, all this. So, is there any doubt in the font using? Hello, Apurva. Is it clear about the fonts, CSS fonts? Okay, and here I use the gradient also, gradient and box shadow for the both for the circle. Okay, so here I created one. Here is my CSS. Basic gradient, and I created one object using the width and the height value, and I given the background linear gradient. Apply the 3 colors and box shadow. Okay, 5 pixel X, 5 pixel Y, and 10 pixel box shadow, blur, and color, box shadow color. Okay, and then box border radius 100 pixels. The square will become a circle, exact circle. Okay, so like this. So next, how we are going to apply the shadow for the text. Okay, for the text also we can apply the shadow. Okay, so for example here I'm going to use the like H1. Okay, so here shadow text, tell you shadow text. Okay, nowadays like a plain background color. Okay, so now I'm going to apply shadow for the shadow text. Let me use some CSS here. Like here, let's say, H1 selector. Okay, and you can say text shadow. Okay, so text shadow again same values, like for example 2 pixels and 2 pixels Y, and then color. Let's say here for example red or something. So it's apply red color for the text for the first H1 and the second H1 both. Okay, so here the between the difference like object or image or text. Okay, in the object and image also we can apply the box shadow. For the text purpose, just you can mention the text shadow. So that is the difference. Rest of same, like using the x-axis, y-axis, and the blur. Okay, and the color. Okay, mainly the box shadow and text shadow. Box shadow for the both object, like any spire image, spire or any circle, any some object, and image also. For image also we can use the box shadow, same property. Okay, for the text purpose we are using the text shadow. Okay, so like this you can use the like the CSS3 new feature shadow effect. And the gradient also used in the circuit part. So gradient, the background linear gradient, and then colors. How many colors you want, you just mention separate by the comma. 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, how many you want. Okay, so here this is the linear gradient, and one more is here radial. Let's say suppose here if you say I will give the same for the radial also. Radial gradient. Okay, the same property, same color values, but the gradient type is different. The radial gradient I applied. See, the radial means it's like a circle shape it will apply. The first red, green, and then yellow. Okay, so here mainly why we are using the like gradients, like border radius, okay, and shadows. Okay, so these are all special effects. So before CSS3, we are going to use the Photoshop for this kind of all effects like custom shapes, gradient, shadows, okay, and curves. Okay, so for the text, images, anything. Okay, so here if you use the Photoshop, we need to use the image for these effects in our websites. So that means it will take a lot of size your web page. Okay, so for this we are going to avoiding images. Most of the effects we can use from the CSS3, so that it will be a code. It can be edit anytime. Okay, it can modify within the CSS. No need to use the Photoshop tool for applying shadow. Okay, and apply gradient and create some custom effects, custom shapes and all. Okay, from the CSS itself we can create all these effects and all. Mainly here we're going to avoiding the images. For the small image, small icon to big size images. Okay, any large soil effects, you can ignore the images and you can use the CSS effects. For the text, image, and objects, it will apply anyway. Okay, so and then and one more thing, say like a maintainable code. You can maintain easy. Just open your style sheet and change the values like position, color, okay, and the border radius value you can modify. It will affect immediately on your web page. Okay, again, in small change also, no need to use the Photoshop tool. Okay, so like this we can use the this gradient, shadow, text shadow, box shadow, and border radius for the round colors. Okay, in the same way we can use the multiple backgrounds. In the same page, multiple backgrounds. Before, if you use one background, the second background we can't use image. Okay, now in CSS3 we can use a number of images, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the same background. Okay, that is like using the multi background feature. Okay, for example, like one big image is there. That image you are going to put as a full image on your web page. Above that, like small logo also you are going to put on the top of the page. Okay, so these two images we can use within the same page using the multi background feature. Okay, so let me use one image like for the total web page, that is like a background, first image, and second image some like a logo on top of the background image, full image. So, okay, so let me this here. Let's say here, first I will take one background color body. Okay, so let's say here the first I will use here. I will use one div tag. Okay, so here I can say class is equal to multi background. Okay, this is my class. Okay, so here you can say background image. Okay, background image and then URL. Right, so URL is like a method. So inside the URL, we are going to give the path of your background image. Okay, so already we have some images, right? Do we have in this one where it is the image? Yes, this is one image. Okay, let's use this is like a big image, right? This sports image I'm going to use in our example. So let's use this image. Okay. So and for the logo also, I will copy one image. Yeah, OWT. So okay, fine. I'll use this logo above the background image as a background image. Okay, and one sports image, one logo image. So let's say here images. Let's say it should be images slash sports.jpg. Okay, so this is one image. Let me check first how it is displaying on our page. Images sports.jpg. Correct, right? Yeah, here we need to provide the background image and one more property. Let's say give some space applying by padding, like for example 20 pixels. Yeah, it's applying, but here you have to say the background size also. Okay, background size in 100%. Let's say here. Background size, and let me use repeat property also. Repeat. So that means the background image we are going to repeat the entire page using this property, background repeat property. The height background. Here I have to provide size 100%. Okay. Let me use height also. Like this. Height, for example, if you say 1000 pixels. So the background image height is 1000 pixels. No, 100. Yeah. Now we can see the background image. Okay, this is not selectable. Okay, and you cannot save also this image by right click because this is a background image. If you place direct image, okay, so it will be saved. It can be saved. You can see the right click save image like this. Okay, but background image you cannot save. Okay, so here, so first we should provide the your background height and then image location and then background size 100% or 50%, 70%. Okay, and then background repeat means it will repeat, like this is the first one and then it is repeated. Suppose if you don't want to repeat the image, we can keep one time by ignoring the repeat property. Simple. Yeah. No, here you can say no repeat. Yeah, now it is applied only one time. There is no repeat. Okay, so like this you can use the background image. Okay, and then one more image. So one more image means by separating comma you can add one more image on top of your background image. Okay, so here let's say again URL. Here I'm going to say the small image like logo.
So why do you have to say no repeat? Like, why are you including background repeat if we're not repeating a picture?
Yeah, that's what. So here, suppose if you want to repeat the image, we can apply the background repeat. So background repeat means the background image is going to repeat around your web page. Suppose it is a small image. Okay, it will repeat the entire background area.
Okay.
Suppose if you say no repeat, it won't repeat. It apply only one time.
Okay.
It will fix like one time in the background position. Okay, so here let's say images background. Okay, it is small icon. So small image. Yeah, now it is stretched. Okay, so because of the background size 100%, it was stretched. Actually, this is small image, like a small icon. Okay, so because of the background size, it was stretched the whole the screen. Okay, let me ignore this one. Background size. Yeah, now it is okay. Background position. Okay, let me apply the positions also. The background image, background position. Background position here you can say left and top. Okay, and then the second image like a small logo also left and top. Okay, so the background position first left and top for the background image. Okay, that full image, and the second left and top is for the logo. Okay, to put on the top of the background image. Yeah, not fine. URL background image is correct. But it should be there. Okay, okay. So this hardware is different. It's, like so first whatever you want to show on top of the image, you can say first logo and then background image. Yeah, now you can see this. Okay, so like this you can use the multi images background from the CSS3. Okay, and we can use some padding also for this padding. We have already some padding, right, for the multi background. Let me increase. Okay, so like this actually this whole image like the background the first image and the logo is the second image. So like this we can use multi background from the CSS3. Okay, so is it clear, Purva?
Yeah.
Okay, so suppose if you want to change the location of image, okay, you can use the background position values. Okay, so this will be left and top, so that it will start from the extreme left, extreme top, that is the full image of our background, and this image for the logo. So from here suppose we can change the suppose instead of top you can say here bottom also. Okay, left bottom of the web page. It's not changing. Let me give some value, like for example 100 pixels. It's not changing. Well, actually, that is the left second left the top is for the background image, not for the logo. So let's give here left and bottom. Not changing. Left bottom. Suppose let me change right. For example, if this is the right and bottom. Now let's give some values. Uh, I think forward this one, the form. So each side should be separated by comma because we use the two different images, right? Let me check. Yeah, now it is separated. Now we can see on bottom right side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like this we can change the direction of your logo, the image. Okay, suppose if you want to put top, we can say this top on the top of the image. Suppose if you see any website, they're going to use some social network icons on extreme left side or extreme right side, and they're going to fix the icons on the left side or right side. Okay, so when you scroll also the page, that will be the social network icons will be fixed. Okay, so that for the fixing purpose, we're going to use the position values, position absolute, position relative, and position fixed values. Okay, suppose if you want to put that kind of icons on top of your web page or web page content, you can use the background and you can use the position values also. Okay.
Okay.
Let me put on this again left to top. Okay, so this is multi background and coming to the positions. Okay, positions we used already two positions, position absolute and position relative. Okay, in the navigation section, navigation drop down section, use the position relative and position absolute. Okay, so using the position relative and absolute values, we can place content anywhere in your web page, and even we can overlap the content on above. Suppose I have one parent content. Okay, and for suppose you take some child content or some text or image, you can overlap on the above content or parent content. Okay, so like using the first I will use the so, absolute position content attributes. Let's say here like h2 position relative, and here I'm going to use some content, or I can use image div. Okay, inside the div I'm going to use one image src. Let's say here images slash, let's say, fruits image or anything, samples. Okay, let me take the fruits image. Okay, so this image will be placed directly on your webpage. This is okay. So, and again I'm going to take like for example some content or some heading or something. Let's say some content here. Yeah, I will take this content. Okay, so now how it is appearing, the first image and below the image the content. Okay, this is actual default order. Okay, image and then image, below image the content. Okay, so before using the absolute and the relative positions. Okay, so let me create one class for this. Okay, let's say here fruits image something. Fruits, you can say relative fruits. Okay, so here I'm going to use the position relative, and we can use the left value and right value. Left value, like you can say 20 pixels. So for the image, I'm going to apply the class relative fruits like this. Yeah. Now it is moved 20 pixel to the right. Okay, now this is the relative. Okay, so now this text I want to overlap above the image, surround the image. So that means this paragraph content I'm going to put on the image. Okay, so here I can use position absolute. Let's say here relative the text or something, absolute text. Okay, so here you can say position absolute and then values. First let me check how it is appearing, the applying only the position absolute. Okay, so let me apply the values also. Let's say here top 20 pixels, so okay. It's placing on the top of screen, so it's starting from the top of screen, right? Because here I said the top 20 pixels. Okay, so it was starting from the top of your page. So that means your position is absolute. So position absolute means it will start from the from zero from the top. When you say the top 20 pixels, it will start from the after 20 pixels. So just like providing you some space, and we can overlap the content on the background image, even on the logo also. Okay, actually this content should be on the fruits image box. Okay, so let me change the class order. Okay, this class I'm going to apply on the div section, because the div is the anything. Yes, it's correct. Yeah, now we can see the content. Now it is above the image. Okay, now we can provide some width for text, paragraph text. Okay, so let me apply some other CSS also for this. The absolute text. Here you can say the width, you can say around 200 pixels, and text color you can say white, and then font size around 20 pixels. See the text. Okay, let me give the left value also. Left also 20 pixels. Now we can see this. Okay, we can increase till the text paragraph text width until the image. Okay, let me increase the width. You can say around 400 pixels, like this. Okay, and it's not readable. Okay, let me change the colors. Yeah, somewhat it's good. Okay, so here suppose the first we are going to place the image. Okay, on top of the image we are going to add some text. So the same example we used in the HTML template in the project section. Do you remember that? Above
Yes.
the position value and on the header text. Okay, and on mouse over displaying. Okay, the same thing exists in the project section. Okay, so like this you can use image position relative image and then absolute content on top of your relative image. So here the relative means the relative is the parent element, the absolute is the child element. Okay, so here the parent element, the child element you are going to put on the parent element using the relative for the parent and absolute for the child.
Okay.
Okay, so like this we can place anywhere. Suppose if you say in the background like position absolute top 0 means, okay, if there is no relative class, so where it will start? It will start from the top of your page. Okay, from the top 20 pixels and the left 20 pixel we take the space and will start from the top of your screen. See. Okay, so there is no any relative, there is no any parent. Now the parent is your web page. Okay, so now it started from the top of the screen. When you say the relevant relative class, the relative position, okay, that content will display on your parent element. Parent element is our image. Okay, so like this you can use the position absolute and position relative, and one more is fixed. Okay, let's say here the fixed value also. For example, position fixed. Okay. Okay, so the same thing I'm going to use on top of the page. Where it is, yeah, this. I'm going to start top of the page. So the heading, image, and the text is my first content. Okay, now it is on the top of your screen. Okay, so when you say the position fixed, fixed for the, let's say, one more class. Yeah, there we go. One more class. Position fixed. So let's say here position fixed. Okay, this class I'm going to use one more div. Div class fixed. So now the all like header content, image, and paragraph content inside your the fixed box, like a position fixed. Okay. See, when you're scrolling the page, okay, scrolling down, the content is fixed on top of your screen. The heading, image, okay, and the even content also. Okay, so like this, you can use the position for any content. You can fix the content wherever you want on the web page, okay, and it will fix to and fix having got it will stick to in that way. So there is no fixed here. See, when you scrolling the page, okay, when you scrolling the page, it's not fixed. Okay, you can't see that content. Okay, so like this, you can use the position fixed on the content. This kind of requirement mostly on the as I said before, the left side or right side or bottom. If you are going to stick any content, like suppose social network icons, any or contact number, okay, you can use these position values. The content will be fixed and will be positioned as per your top value and left value also.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So here I'm going to create one more like custom shapes. I show you some from the online website, some custom shapes, right? Like arrows, okay, or any some stars. Like so here first I'm going to create one more page for this. Let's say here new file. You can say here shapes.html. So shapes, and create one more document for the style options. Okay, first we should link the CSS document in our HTML using link relative style sheet, and then path of style sheet href inside CSS shapes.css. Okay, so let's create one div. Okay, and for the div, I'm going to create class. Let's say first start with a basic example like a square, okay, rectangle, and circle, and then we can change it to the like some custom shapes. Okay, so here first I can say square. So for the square, I'm going to apply some width and height, some background color, and all this. Let's say first we can say width 200 pixels, height 150 pixels, No, square means it should be 200. Height 200 pixels, and then some background color. Background, let's say some brown or something. Now we have one sphere, exact sphere. Okay, and now we can say one more, like two more rectangle and circle. Rectangle and circle. The same thing I'm going to apply. Rectangle and then circle. Okay, for the rectangle you can say width 350 or something. Okay, and keep the 200 height, and background color I will do some other, let's say some blue something. Okay, and for the circle you can keep same square for making the circle, and you can apply border radius 100 pixels. Can provide some space between the each object. Margin, let's say margin on bottom, only 4 sides. Margin bottom 20 pixels. Okay. So now we have total 3 objects. One is square, rectangle, and circle. These are all basic shapes. From these basic shapes, we can convert different can create the different shapes using the border radius values and border radius, border thickness. Okay, and border style. Okay, till now we used border solid, right? The border style. Okay, we have some 2-3 border styles in CSS3. Okay, so first let me apply the border, the first on the square border. Let's say here, like for example, you can say 5 pixels thickness, and this is the basic style, and then color. Let's say some so on the brown we can say some black as well. Yeah, let me increase the thickness border. Okay, now my border thickness is 10 pixel, background color, the border black color. Okay, and now we can see the 100% background color. Okay, here instead of saying solid border style, we can apply CSS3 border style. Okay, let's say here groove or CSS groove. Okay, this is CSS3 new border style. On the background, on the black, you can't see the difference. Let me change the color here. Let's say yellow. Yeah, now we can see this. Okay, the border grooves type. So it's like some kind of 3D object. Okay, 50% of the same yellow color, and 50% is separate some dark yellow. Okay, now it is showing like some like the mirror or some box, what is that 3D effect on the borders.
Okay.
Okay, like this we can use the groove style, and one more is, let me apply that also. Like here, inset. So now it is inset this border style. Okay, so like two different styles are there for the border. Okay, and now we can apply the border radius on each side. So in the circle section, I use the four sides. Border radius with 100 pixels, it's applying on the four side of your spine. Okay, let's say left side 25 pixels, on right side 25 pixels, and the bottom left and right 25. Okay, so that it make like a circle. Okay, so now we can apply each side, top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left also on border radius. Okay, let's say here on the spire itself, border radius. Border top left. We can mention specifically border left radius. So that means it will apply on the top left of your object. Okay, so here let's say around 30 pixels. See, now the border radius, that out corners apply only on the top and the left side of the object. Okay, and same way you can apply the bottom right also. Just copy paste right, bottom right. Okay, same 30 pixel values. Right. Okay, it's kind of some like some custom shape. Two opposite sides with round corners, and other two sides is sharp edges. Okay, so like this you can increase the border radius values. Still, if you want to make any some 100 pixels, okay, and here also you can say 100 pixels on top left, like this. Like it is some kind of like a leaf shape or something like this.
Okay.
Okay, so here when you say the border top left radius and border bottom right radius. Okay, so like this we can use the four sides of your object. So that is first top left and top right and bottom right, bottom left. Okay, so for we can ignore this. I mean, we are going to write the shortcut way. Instead of writing those many values, okay, so suppose here you can say border radius. Okay, let's say suppose here you can, if we say 100 pixels, it will apply again the four sides of your object. It will change to the circle. Okay, now I'm going to apply 100 pixel. You can say 50 pixels. Okay, the 50 pixel round radius. Okay, that is the first value. So that means the border radius applying on the four sides. Okay, the first value. Okay, if you select second value, 0. So now what happened? So like how I said in the border top left radius 100 pixel, border bottom right radius 100 pixels, how it changed the shape, the same result. Okay, top left, bottom right border applies, radius 50 pixels, and 0 is applying on the top right and bottom right. Okay, so this single line code and this two lines code is same. Okay, so like for the optimization, okay, for the fast loading of your web page, for easy maintainable, you can use this shortcut way, or you can use this shortcut methods also. Border radius, first value, top and left, uh, top left and bottom right, and second value, top right and bottom. Okay, so like say, suppose if you say third value, so where it will apply as per our order on bottom right. Okay, so if you give the third value, the first value like top, it will apply on the top left, so that is order, and the second value will apply on the same like the top right and the bottom left. So third value apply on the bottom right, so that is order. Like clockwise, top left, top right, bottom right and bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to apply the fourth value. Suppose if you say like 200 pixels, so it's applying on the bottom left. So like this, four values we can apply on the border radius instead of saying the same repeated code. Okay, we can use the shortcut methods. Okay, at the same time, we can see some custom shape, like a different shape out of from the circle, square, rectangle. We can create some custom shapes also. Okay, let's say here. Yeah, tell me.
No, I said okay.
Okay, so now this. Okay, like this, we can use in one object, use the border radius. Okay, and then what is it is the border style? Where it is? Yeah, border styles also. Okay, like this, we can create any custom shapes. Just applying the border values, different values. And suppose if you want to change the object, we can use the transform also. Okay, so let me apply the transform also. Okay, so here rectangle, yeah, let me apply transform. In the transform, you can say rotate, like you can say 45 degrees. See, the object is transformed to 45 degrees, the rectangle object. Okay, suppose if you want to create any some, like for example, social network icons or any other some 3D object. Okay, some 3D object like cube. Okay, in the cube you need three boxes. Okay, top box and the left box and right box. Okay, using the position values and transforms, we can apply and we can create a cube also. CSS3 cube. Okay, so here we are going to use transform rotate 45 degrees. Here you can say suppose transform x. Particularly you can say transform x. Okay, it will rotate the x axis. Rotate x 45 degrees. It's not okay. Yeah, it's transform. Okay, let's say nowadays actually this is actual object. After applying transform rotate 45 degrees, it's okay. You can see the difference on the rotate X. Rotate Y. Okay, so let me see. Okay, now the object is rotate as y-axis. Okay, you can see specifically here rotate to x and y, or and another way also is here. You can give here also separating by comma. Let's say here 20 degrees. Okay, and the second value let's say 50 degrees. So inside the bracket, the first value is x and second value is y. Okay. Should apply. Rotate. For example, you can say 20 degrees. Okay. Then applying. That is like a default. It will apply as an x. Okay. So let's say here 90 degrees. Okay. Transform x, transform y. Okay, let's take two examples for this. The first I will put this. And applying. And applying 70 also applying. It's coming same position. From rotate, rotate y. Okay, so it's applying. Actually, the transform rotate means by default it will take x axis. Y is applying, but it's not applying both at the same time. Okay. Okay. Let me check this, and tomorrow I will continue on the transforms. Okay. Tomorrow is Ananta joining. Apurva?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. The transforms and transition are important. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what. And you can create the animations also using the transforms and transitions.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, I just had a general question.
Yeah. Tell me.
I know my dad spoke to you about Python, but you suggested web development. Like, why did you suggest this specific course over Python?
Yeah. Actually, before start this course, I explained the benefits of this course and technologies and job requirements and salary packages and all. Okay. So the mainly is these are all like front end and back end open source technologies. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and JavaScript based frameworks like Bootstrap, Angular, Okay, jQuery and all. Okay, so these things you can learn very easily without any programming knowledge. Okay, so your daddy told me technical wise, like a programming wise, very zero knowledge. So we need to start from the zero level. Okay, so that given actually I sent the first Python course content and fee section. Okay, after that, daddy asked me send me other course. Okay, which is good course and good opportunities like this. He asked me and I send the full stack like with UAX. Okay, and even Python also we can use for the web development, but that is like some programming knowledge. You need some knowledge on the programming part. Okay, I given two options. Just that is, tell me go ahead with full stack UAX. Like
Will you still be
that's it.
teaching Python in this one or no?
No, no. Here for the Python, actually, we are using for the backend programming. Okay, and in the Python, if you learn only Python, you cannot learn this front end and designing, like front end part like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and for the UX designing like Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe XD. Okay, Python is completely pure programming language. Okay, so here, suppose if you want to create any like some graph or some content or image, you need to use Python program language. But here in the HTML, CSS, just plain English, you can create any kind of content like say custom shapes using the CSS input. Okay, but in Python, we need to write some program for that. These are all like whatever you can see on the screen, that is front end part. Okay,
Yeah,
first you
right,
need to
right.
learn the front end part, and then you can go next language like Python and all.
I
In
know.
Python,
I'm
instance
saying
yeah, instance of Python, I'm going to teach you the Node.js.
no.
Node.js also server-side programming. I mentioned in the post content.
Yes,
For the
yeah.
backend purpose, Node.js, this one Express, and for the database, MongoDB.
Okay.
I mentioned in the post content.
Yeah, yeah.
About
I remember.
got it right. So
Yeah,
here the main thing is suppose if you learn JavaScript, okay, so the rest of the like JavaScript frameworks, Angular, Node.js, Express is very easy to learn because it is the same language, okay, but we are using the two like a front end and back end. The
okay.
client side JavaScript for the front end and server side JavaScript for the back end, but language is same. So that's what I'm telling. The JavaScript, if you're good in JavaScript, it's very easy to learn Angular and Node.js, Express, all these libraries and frameworks, which is JavaScript based.
Okay.
Okay, now the most of the technologies and most of the companies also using the JavaScript and JavaScript based frameworks, libraries, tools.
Okay.
Like both, Python also most of the companies using, but you should have some good knowledge on the programming side.
Okay.
Okay, suppose if you want to learn the Python, I can learn the Python also. I can teach you Python after the completing this course.
Okay, yeah. We can talk about that since we still have time.
Okay, okay,
Okay. Thank you.
okay, okay. Bye, bye. Thank you.